And basically, it's been one of the biggest employers since 1943, and it's still going. Okay, they supply cooling systems for JLR, Audi, Peugeot, etc. Not as many people working there, but it's still an huge employer internationally. It's now called Morelli, by the way. Okay, so actually, Calsonic cans, I purchased it in 1980 from what was called Llanelli Radiators at the time. Okay. So, sorry, there's a photo of me with hair there on the right. There's a reason for that. This is not just to show me when I was younger. Basically, just to give you a bit of my background, I grew up stone's throw from here in a council estate in Carmarthe, across the road there. So this was my play area, okay? Used to play football here. I'm a football man. So, but no, it's great to see this. But this was my sort of, where I used to make dens, etc. Okay, so I got a great connection with the site. I went to CYCA school, again, just around the corner from here. And then I went to Llanelli Technical College. Okay, I left school at 15. So I met a couple of people here who are colleagues ago, and I told them they weren't born when I went to Llanelli Technical College. And actually Nigel Davis was here, the director of rugby here. He was in the same time as me, so I've known him 40 years. So we've got similar sort of journeys. So then I studied computer-aided engineering at the Polytechnic of Wales, probably now called the University of Glamorgan, I think. But I also spent 20 years as a semi-pro footballer, okay? And the reason I say that is I'm very passionate about sport and the effect it has on people's lives, particularly young people, giving them opportunities. And one of the sort of motivations behind the win site is when I was a kid, 13, coming from Carmarthe, my great parents, but no money. I used to play football for Llanelli Reds, under 13s and the 14s. I turn up with my little plastic football boots, plastic bag. If you're good enough, you play. Now it's 350 quid before you start. So I wouldn't have been able to play football. It's like tennis was then, okay? So I don't know, there's good reasons for that, but I think there's a lot of young people missing out on sport. So yeah, 20 years as a semi-pro footballer, but then also I spent my professional career in automotive design. So you can see a picture again with hair again. There's me on the drawing board 38 years ago probably, after college. So, and then on the right there you can see, for the older generation, the old Mini, the original Mini design heating system. That was one of my first projects which I designed. And if you ever come across an old Mini, you probably see that in there. So that's got my stamp on it. Okay. So yeah, so I work for two global companies, automotive companies, Valeo, climate control, French company, and Calsonic Kansai. Okay. I worked for 35 years, and then I did a few years consulting. My last role was I was head of R&D for Europe and North America for Morelli. So yeah, I enjoyed, I've never been bored. I was lucky in that way. And I had a great career in the automotive, traveled the world basically. So I retired and, well, sort of, did a bit of consultancy, and then I heard that the company was looking to sell part of the property off in Velivon. Okay. Oops. So as I said earlier, after 2 years negotiation, I managed to twist that arm, managed to purchase it off them. Okay. And I sold the sort of, it's for the community. It's a sports business hub for, everybody. And they really bought into that, to be fair, the European directors. And, there's a good thing for them for corporate responsibility, social responsibility. So what have we got there now then? So we've got 18 months. We've got 7 sports clubs, okay? So we got 12 businesses. And the football, the bowls and the gymnastics were there when I got there. Football had been there a long time. Years ago, a lot of these companies had sports and social. So they had their own football clubs, they had their own bowls or whatever. And the gymnastics have been there 15 years. Fantastic club. 600 kids, 4 lady directors. They compete at all levels, including national. And I've secured their long-term future by giving them long-term contracts. And we're looking to develop all the facilities, okay, including the bowls, okay. I reckon, me and James estimated this, there's about 2,000 people, mostly children, visit the site now weekly, throughout the week as a total, So, yeah, it's from a derelict buildings, it's coming back to life and it's becoming more of a village and a community. Some of the businesses we have there, I'll run through them quickly. We have a Coach Carmarthe, which is a childcare we brought in February, well-speaking. Vision, who do signs. We have a Haile Morelli global company. Co-recovery, they do hot and cold therapy. We have a music school there with 6 rooms. Again, I'll come to these in a bit later. And James's blueprint is there as well. So we have a variety of different businesses, etc. So that's if some of you may remember in this room, perhaps the older members, attendees, the old social club in Calsonic. It was iconic, apparently, even before my time. In the 70s, you were queuing to get in there, apparently. And they had lots of, the big groups in there back in the day. A lot of people asked me, are you going to turn it back into a social club or a club? I said, well, I got different ideas. Believe it or not, it's quite, Bonnie Tyler apparently was there. I'm looking for the photo. She was supporting somebody, apparently, not actually performing. So I'm looking for that photo, which is quite, obviously we lost her last week. So, but if you look at the picture, you can see, it's a bit of a mess. So basically, we started in January last year, and 6 months later, we completed it. But if you look at the picture there, you've got the guy is Lee Randa, he's a lifetime friend, again from Penavant. He's a British coach for kickboxing, and that's his daughter, Dr. Tennessee Randall. She's a doctor of psychology. And she's 3 times world champion, ladies champion. Fought in Abu Dhabi last year and won her 3rd world championships. And she's a fantastic role member for the young kids, particularly the girls. Half the members, the 300 members, half of them are girls. So if I go to the next picture, this is what we transformed it to. So you can see there from that pilot to what we got now. Okay. And we actually got a ring in there as well now. So, two of the young members are competing in the European Championships in Montenegro in the coming months, and Tennessee's also fighting in the European Championships. So we've got 3 members fighting from Llanelli now in the World Champion and in the European Championships, and Tennessee will be fighting in the World Championships again. Right, a lot of the workers, okay, who are helping me do this, okay, are ex-Calsonic people with 40 years plus experience, local people. Some are technical, they manage the furnaces and all sorts of their machines. A lot of experience and skills, and they absolutely love it. Okay, some of them do 2.5 days a week, gets them out of bed, and they feel they give him back. And they're brilliant, to be honest with you. One of the guys there, he does all my plans for planning and everything else. My planning consultant, so who does your plans? And I said, well, Peter. And Peter was an IT guy, and he said that some of the best I've ever seen. So it's amazing what you can do with experience. Yeah. I call them Dad's Army because they're pushing the wrong end of 60 and early 70s, which is not a problem, but they absolutely love it, okay? And they're really engaged, to be honest with you, okay? And some of their family, their grandchildren, etc. Next, we've got the Jimmy Clarke Snooker Academy. So Jimmy is probably, if you don't like snooker, you will know who he is, but he got to the last 16 of the World Championships in Sheffield at 26. And he's from Llanelli. So this guy, has set up his own academy plus small club. He coaches kids, and he's back on the circuit. He won the European Championship last year called the Q Tour, and he's back on the professional circuit now. So he'll be out in China all over the place. Okay, he's played Ronnie O'Sullivan a number of times, etc. So we got him on our site, which is brilliant. Just show you a video quickly. This is Mark Williams. Again, if you know about snooker, Mark is 3 times world champion, quite friendly with Jamie. So he agreed to do his only exhibition in the UK last year, September. And a little story here, the guy he's playing there is an 11-year-old kid. His parents pay 120 quid, I think, to play, 3 times world champion. He broke, and that was it. Mark cleared the table, 147. But you can imagine the bragging rights going to school and everything else. Yeah. So, it was fantastic night, and it just shows what can be done. Yeah. So we managed to squeeze 60, 70 people in there, and it was a real good night. And some people had the opportunity to play one of the best in the world. And he was a lovely guy, real nice guy. I think he's from Emu Vale or somewhere up there. Right. If you look at this now again, this is an old office block, which, it was a bit derelict, bit of a mess, etc. So I had a guy called Ashley Williams, okay, approached me. So throughout all this, I haven't advertised anything. I've used agency, nothing, okay. It's all been word of mouth. So last 18 months, we filled it by networking and word of mouth, okay. I am obviously competitive and I do help the small businesses with investment and things like that, okay. So Ashley is from Swansea. He lives in Llanelli. Lovely guy. He's a 3rd degree Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I don't know what it means, but he sounds hard. Uh, but no, he's a lovely guy. And when somebody says he's one of the best in the world, right, okay. But he's got 30-odd thousand followers on Instagram around the world. He travels the world constantly. Basically, he's been to Australia twice this year coaching. He coaches all over the world. He's that good. He fights the Americans, the Brazilians, everything. He's got a guy from New York who actually runs a gym for him. But I do see him from time to time. So this, again, just a video of what it used to be looked like before we started renovating. And to be fair, Ashley mucked him and his team. They did a lot of the work, most of the work. And then this is what it's like now. So you can see the fight area, okay. That's his coffee lounge and his parents, where the parents come and sit and watch, okay. The changing rooms. And then you can see then some of the fighters, and again we got girls there, we got all ages there, and it's really impressive because again they're being coached by one of the best, okay. And he was 3rd in the World Championships out in Los Angeles or somewhere last year, and he's a real nice guy as well. Okay, we've also got some of you may know Jenks, the street artist. Jenks actually worked in Calsonic as an electrician, believe it or not, in his former life. So I've known Jenks a long time. Jenks, obviously, you may have seen his work around Carmarthenshire, Swansea, he goes to London, everything. Fantastic artist. But he didn't have a base. And he wants, because what's Jenks, mid-50s, I don't know, early 50s. He wants to start coaching the next generation, because apparently there is nothing in college or something that you can do for street art, so he tells me. So again, he's based there, and only this weekend now he's had kids in there doing some pictures and paintings and everything else. So he started now to coach the next generation. And if you go in his room there, which you can see that tiger behind there. When you see it, first of all, it's like 3D coming out at you. And it's quite intimidating, but it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The guy is phenomenal. This is the gymnastics club. We talked about. So again, they compete at international level. Again, 4 ladies directors run the club. Last 15 years in there, and like I haven't had to do anything in there. And it's amazing. I suppose that's what really inspired me as well as the catalyst for the whole site. You know, they're very successful. They have disabled kids. They have all sorts coming in there. So everybody, is welcome, and they're brilliant. That's all I can say. And they have school children now in the summer holidays, clubs, etc., etc. And they had an inspiration, a number in the Welsh squads, etc. Then we got bowls. Okay, so they've been here for years. People said to me, "Well, that would make a fantastic training pitch for football, 4G, whatever." I said, no, these guys this is their life, that's their passion, right? Just because they're a bit older than maybe some of us. So the oldest member is 96, right? And he's still playing. Ken, he meant to retire last year, but I saw him this year. Oh, they're short, I'm going to play. And he was man of the match twice last year. And that's not a joke. He was man of the match twice last year. So, these are the things that inspire me, okay? So you've got a 4-year-old in the kickboxing next door, or just in front, and then you've got a 96-year-old playing bowls. It's brilliant, to be honest with you, and it's I'm a great believer in it, okay? We need younger members. We do need younger members, and we need probably more female team or something else. So we're looking at all that going forward. Right, this is... okay, one of the another interesting project. So that was 4 offices, okay, in Calsonic, back in the day, okay, till we knocked them down. So a lady came and see me called Kate Hall Fitness. Kate was based in Llanelli, small place, ladies only personal training coach. Excellent, 3 children, young woman, and hardworking. In at 5 o'clock, and then takes her kids to school, whatever, and then back to do more training. So she, again, word of mouth, she came to see me. Have you got any space available? And I was scratching my head. And I don't like turning people down, to be honest with you, especially with people with enthusiasm. And we had these 4 offices, and I said, our offices are boring. So we got Dad's Army, and we just knocked the walls out. Everything's done to the book, okay, so don't worry about that. There's asbestos in there. I got a professional company comes done that. It's all been rewired, all new fire alarm systems. But so Dad's Army does more the physical work, not the more technical stuff like that, okay. So then this is that's Kate, sorry, I should have shown you earlier. So we turn around in 8 weeks, okay. So from that to that in 8 weeks, okay. And she's increased her membership hugely. It's a great safe space, right, for some women who are self-conscious, like men are, who want to have private classes and small classes. She has big classes, different times of the day. Women with young children, there's a room there for children to play. So so the quality, again, the boys have done, because the building is basically sound and the walls are so thick because of the avoiding the German bombers. The building is solid, okay. And then we have a yoga lady. In fact, she was the first in that building. So Emma, you might have heard of Emma Bird. Brilliant. Again, spent 9 years in India where she trained as a yoga teacher. And you might see me on the far picture trying to do chair yoga, all shapes. But no, great. Again, great inspiration. We got other people doing acupuncture, all sorts in there. Okay. Tallest, yeah, I'm the tallest student she's ever had, she said. So I'm touching one end of the room to the other when she gets me to do stuff. So then we had a guy called Jamie, who approached me about core recovery. I haven't heard of this. So basically, he's only 22, wanted to start his own business up. So he wanted to introduce hot and cold therapy. So again, we supported him, and his father supported him. And then we set up, he's got 3 rooms now. 2 rooms, he's got a sauna, 2-man sauna. So if you've got a couple, you can go in. And it's only about 20 quid for an hour if there's a couple of you. So you've got a sauna, 2-man sauna, you've got 2 cold tanks. And then you've got a shower, and you just keep rotating. And it's your room for the hour, which is really good because it's private. And he's been really busy, okay, really busy. And he's also introduced now an oxygen tent. Very non-technical term, I'm sure it's called something else, but it's for sports injuries, people who've got illnesses, it aids recovery, gets oxygen. Quags, you know what it is, don't you? You work for Man City. What's it called? That's the one. So hypoxia chamber. Yeah. So yeah, again, young man, full of enthusiasm. And really good. They're talking to Nigel Davis now, the rugby boy, and they're going to bring the Scarlets down. So they're going to bring the Scarlets down anyway because they're big into grappling, apparently, rugby players, because it's good for defence. He signed a new defence guy who's big into it. So we're going to maybe pair up. Sorry, I know I'm going on and on, but it's quite a bit. So the music, we brought a music factory in, okay, school. So 6 rooms. Again, they approached me, and again, we found the space, didn't really have it. And then, okay, why do I do this? Okay, so I have touched on it. Okay, so we're working with CYCA. You might know them or not. They are Children in Crisis charity. Okay, so they support children in schools who are going through crisis for different reasons. Okay, and we've already started with them. Where if you look at some of the pictures, not the football yet, but if you look at the snooker, Jamie Clarke there, he's coached a couple of kids, had a couple of games with the kids, and then if you look at on the right, you've got girls, I think it is, from doing the jiu-jitsu. Coaching, all free of charge for them. Okay, so my passion is really, I'm passionate about this community, like I've heard from everybody today. I'm passionate about young people in sport, or not just sport, like Jenks there now with the painting. You know what I mean? Not everybody likes sport. James in the front there, James is on site with me. He does design AI and things like that. So again, he's like kids. We had kids who are really interested in that, who are maybe a little bit quiet, but that brings them alive. You've had experience with that. So it's giving people the opportunity, kids particularly, to engage in positive activity, because I'm a great believer in that, because of my own life story, and it's not I'm trying to be anything big. I'm from Penryn, okay? But great parents, no money. But I used to go out playing all the time. Cricket, football, rugby. Didn't cost me anything. These days, it's completely changed. So yeah, we're forming a partnership with them, and going forward, that's what we're going to do. We're going to give everybody the opportunity to play football, bowls if they want. We're having what's next? I see these two looking at me, so I better be quick. We got paddle courts coming. Okay, so behind the football pitch, there's a young family from Cardiff. The father's from Swiss Valley, a guy called Nick Sodi, you might know him. They're in the mid-20s, they're starting their own business, and they're going to be setting paddle courts around different areas, small areas. And we've got 2 paddle courts coming with a little cafe thing. They've had planning, approval, everything, all the boxes ticked. So we're going to start hopefully in the next few weeks to put them in, hopefully before the end of the summer. We want to be the first because I know Machynnes are trying to get them in, but they've put them out yesterday, end of the year, and the tennis club are putting them in, but they've gone back for planning. So, is that okay? Am I out of time or? Is that okay, Zoe? Okay. So, well, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed. And if you want to come down, just come down. I'm there most mornings and have a look. And really interested.